Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. In this video, we are going to create the second example of your resource allocation. Now, in this situation, we are going to have the node selection over here. So previously, we have seen a node name, as in we have given as part of our YAML file. But here in this situation, we are going to select a node based on the label the node has. So first, before we go ahead, we need to create a label for the node. After creating the label for the node, then we can actually use our YAML file to select that node which has that label name. So that's what we're going to look at this video. So in this moment, I'm going to execute a command which is actually going to create a label. All right, to get the current nodes which is configured, you can use group control get nodes. Now this is gonna fetch us all the nodes which we have, but then it doesn't show the label, of course. So you give show labels over here. So this will enable you to get the label from here. So that's not working. All right, seems like a typo over there. So the labels E is before. Now you can see that pretty much you can see the labels which is assigned to this. So these are the labels which is part of this particular host name. So now we're going to include another label over here. So all I have to do for that, I'm going to choose worker2 node here in this situation for adding this label. So to add a label, so you just go execute group control command with the option of label. And within this, you can just type nodes over here. And then what is the name of the node, which is worker2. And what is a label you want to type? GPU equal to true. So that's the label I want to give for this particular node right now. So I just execute the command. And you can see that it says that it's labeled right now. So let's execute the command with show labels. And you can see this option part of your worker2 label. So this is just telling you that the graphical processing unit is present in this particular worker, which is not over here. So we can label this as false in terms of worker 1. So that whenever I create a pod which requires a GPU, I would rather have that running on a worker 2 rather than on worker 1. So that's the whole idea or the scenario we're going to work with in this case, as well as like in the future case, in terms of all the resource allocation topics in the workload management. We're going to use that as well as this ideology. So now that we have GPU true and false specified on each of these workers, so let's go and create the wm2.yaml, which is your worker manager 2.yaml. So to have this YAML file successfully created, so go to the GitHub, so you can copy paste the item, which is part of my GitHub page. So there you can go and copy paste the item which is over there. All right. So here I am including API version. And the pod is kind, and you can see the name of the pod is going to be pod with name selector. It's not going to affect the existing pod because the pod is named with pod with node name. Here I have the specification for the pod, and that's the container. Name of the container is Nginx, and the image is Nginx. And here I'm using the node selector option, wherein which I'm going to choose this particular pod to be located where the GPU is equal to true on a label name. So save and quit this file and have this file executed with group control apply -f with this file. I can see that the pod is created on worker 2. So now you modify this file and you try to create another pod. It's going to be created on the same location because I'm just going to create one more over here. Apply this file again. I can see that another pod is created and that pod is also created on worker 2. So this means that every time you create a pod, it's going to look for the label name and it's going to choose that node which has the label. That's all I want to share with you on this video, guys. I'll see you on the next video.